Hello there. Excuse me. Welcome to another talk. And today's talk is called Spiritual Awakening Doesn't Apply to Narcs. I don't look like that just now with my brown hair. I've dyed it blonde. You would have saw my recent pictures. That's a picture from last year that I used. If I was actually talking to the camera face to face, I would, it's more like, you're talking to someone. It's different if I just put a picture up. I think I can get into it quicker. If you're talking to a camera, it's like a performance as well. That's what I think about it, That's why, you'll rarely see me talk to the camera. Now and again, very seldom. Because like I say, it takes me longer to get into it. And my talks are normally no more than 15 minutes. That's because of the internet speed. It's really bad. But so I can't do any more than 50 minutes, which is good because people have got short attention spans anyway. But today's talk is called Spiritual Awakening Doesn't Apply to Narcs. Sorry. And I feel like this is going to go quite deep. Because the narcissist, the Decepticons, this insecure thing, this Wetiko consciousness, whatever label you want to give it, it's all the same thing. Muslims call it jinn, and that's ultimately what it is. You got dark and you've got light. And they even work together. But if you're if you're in the mindset of you're externalizing everything, you're not going within it. I mean, I'm the only person in my immediate circle, my family, that has actually had a spiritual awakening. And it doesn't mean I'm better than them. It just means that I was willing to face myself. No other family member has even begun the same journey I'm on now. And if you're going through a spiritual awakening right now, you will outgrow your immediate circle super quick. Than someone that isn't doing that. I'm my mother's registered carer. And, when she was 34, that was the beginning of her health problems back then. But it's a different pathway I'm on. I'm on the pathway within, as I say. And that doesn't mean I'm calling my family a bunch of narcissists. But you can either go within or you can not go within. If you're not going within, it's like, I saw someone today on the internet, a post. What a stupid thing to say. They're on about demonic possession. And someone said, if your eyes aren't turning colours like a demon, then there's no demonic possession going on. Well, that's just rubbish. Because we can all see that there's something very, very dark happening. Whether it be censorship on the internet, to wars, and it's all to do with this manipulation force. So there is something demonic going on. And when you're in that state of consciousness, you can't awaken. Because you only awaken when I was 24, that was the beginning of my awakening. I'm 34 now. 10 years ago, I had this unexpected awakening because I had that moment. I sat down and I just had enough. And I meant it. And it ignited the awakening. Because for the first time in my life, I was actually authentic and heart-based, and I decided at that moment to change my life. It was like a psyche thing. It was such a strong moment that it done something to my psyche. And it was like I decided then to change everything. But if you're on the other pathway, if you're fearful, which is narcissistic, then you can't awaken. Because if you're head-based, ego-based, then you're fear-based. And your decisions will all come from a place of fear. Awaken only comes when you're heart-based. I didn't know anything about heart-based living then. I didn't know anything about this stuff. But that's what I did. I was heart-based for the first time. And then I started going through this transformation. And anyone can do it. But you've got to be willing to leave that old self behind. You've got to be willing to leave that behind. If the fear can actually be addictive. It can be addictive to be fearful. Because it's like it is a place of comfort. You know what I mean? Even though it doesn't feel good, it's the sheeple are so insane. Not all sheeple are just those that wear masks as well, I want to say. You get some people, sheeple, that actually pretend to be part of the awakening movement, but they're actually lefties in disguise. They're snowflakes and lefties in disguise, narcissists in disguise. These people are, like I say, they are the Decepticons. They're everywhere. I'm not religious, but I've heard people saying that the Bible even says that there would be people like that. And don't even listen to me. Trust your heart chakra. That's the real spiritual guru, right? But if you're being narcissistic, manipulative, decepticonic, then you're not going to awaken. It's crazy and insane, because a lot of people that are in this the spiritual new age community, they're complete Decepticons. It's full of people like that. You got the people that have had the awakenings that are genuine, and then you got the people that haven't had that. People that haven't had that, their whole journey is based upon ego and fear, and them being seen in a certain light. And about, being special and chosen and stuff like that. We're all chosen when we decide to be. You choose yourself. When I was 24, I had this big awakening. I chose myself. I chose to change. And that's what you've got to be willing to do. People go on about twin flames. But you've got to find who you are first. You've got to find who you are first. You've got to find joy within you before that can happen. I apologize for the music. That's this internet again. I did tell you it was really bad internet, and now you've heard it for yourself. So I haven't put any music on, but it might come back on itself. But back to the topic in hand, yes. So if you want to spiritually awaken, ascend, heal, it's all within the heart chakra. Your spirit loved ones on the other side, that place they're in, which heaven is actually a place. When you go to heaven, that's all the loved ones from all different lives are there. And people that you haven't met in this lifetime, but in other lives. And far higher vibration, but the vibration to connect to there is the heart space, the heart chakra. So So it's about living from there. And so if you're deciding to be Wetiko consciousness, i.e. narcissistic, fearful, that's but even that is part of the same thing. Because everything comes from source. You see? What is God? God is the miracle power within absolute nothingness. Within that nothing was a conscious force that is the beginning and end, and that is the one infinite creator. And that's what God is. And you connect with that force with the heart chakra. You know? Simulations and stuff like that. Yes, all reality is simulated because it's electrical. But you don't escape anywhere when you awaken. You escape from the ego self, the illusory self, the self that is unhappy. But the separation is a great experience. And it's a blessing. So, but this awakening journey, connecting with your loved ones, this heart chakra thing, well, that's what it is. It's within the heart chakra. And if you want your twin flame, you want all the great things from ascension, healing, then the heart chakra is the doorway. I've heard people say that within the heart is supposed to be a tiny space, and that's supposed to be this vortex. It's within the heart. And that is the doorway to source, to God, to heaven, to your loved ones that are living there. And that is how you heal as well. But like I say, if you're being narcissistic and fearful, that is the trick. That is the opposite of that. But ultimately, the reason you've got the opposite of that, it's all part of the same thing. It's like a play, like a movie. You see? So what that means is it means that there's no actual separation. The darkness is the light, but appearing as darkness. There's one infinite thing going on, and that means oneness. That there can only ever be one infinity. You can't have two infinities. So that's what God is. It's the one infinity, and that's what you are. And within the heart chakra is how you connect with this force. That's how you awaken. That's how you heal. That's how you align with source, twin flames, heaven, your loved ones, all that stuff. But like I say, if you're being narcissistic, it's all part of the same thing, but that's how you won't connect. If you're being fearful. Just let go, and just, because this is a divine moment right now. Every moment is divine. And how about just trusting that it is that? Trust that it is a divine moment. That it's actually perfect. You see? It's a much different energy field that you tap into once you do that. You tap into the source, you tap into presence, you tap into your tantric orgasmic energy field, which is the true self. You see? And then as you go deeper with that, you're tapping into the true I, which is, well, like David Icke says, infinite love is the only truth, everything else is an illusion. And I'm just going to end it there. For latest updates, talks, news, research, and much, much more, please do check my website at www.lovelightfamily.com. Thank you.